Ladies and gentlemen, if you're considering picking up an RTX 40 based GPU for yourself or for a loved one, after all, Christmas will be rolling around pretty soon, you may be better, however, to hold off because there seems to be a pretty huge update on the horizon for Lovelace. Now, I want to begin with a tweet from Megasize GPU, and this will concern the 4080 Super or Ti. Honestly, the name hasn't been decided 100% yet, at least according to this tweet, but then I want to move on to some information from my own source, and this is regarding the potential specification of a couple of other SKUs as well and some other general information. So this is from Megasize GPU, again on Twitter. I refuse to call it anything else, damn it. There will be a 4080 Super, maybe Ti, in early 2024. This is based on AD102. TGP is below 450, same price range as a 4080. Now, that basically means, of course, that if you're considering a 4080 GPU within the same price range, at least according to this information, there's essentially very little reason to pick it up. You may be better just to wait. Now, I have been told from a single source that most likely a lot of these cards are going to be announced around CES. Now, that does make sense, honestly. That, of course, will be early next year. Now, I'm about to go through some specifications with you guys. This is from a single source. Now, I have not had time to verify this yet. I'm running it by several other people. But this source has been pretty accurate in the past. I'm not going to attribute specific stories to specific people, but they've had a pretty good track record. However, they do stress that these specifications are subject to change. And if you recall back in the days of the RTX 4090, for example, that thing went through so many different revisions, so many different changes to the TDP, to the just everything. It changed everything so many times. The memory specifications, the clock frequencies, the number of CUDA cores, etc, etc. So it's very possible that this could change. But I was told that the 4090 Ti is going to launch. Titan is not, it's probably dead. The Ti is AD102, 142 SM. You can see the clock frequency bit goes up to 2520. You guys know the drill with clock frequencies on modern GPUs anyway. 24 gigabytes of RAM and 550 watts TDP, or TBP, excuse me. Then we have the 4080 Ti. Again, the names are subject to change, but this is what I'm going to reference them as for the sake of this video. It's based on AD102, 100 SM, 2205 to 2500 megahertz, 16 gigabytes of 256-bit GDDR6X memory. There are no changes to the 4090, I was told. And we also have the 4070 Super, which is based on AD104, 52 SM, 1920 to 2475, and that's 12 gigabytes of memory. There will also allegedly be a refresh on some of the laptop variants as well. So obviously, at the end of the day, do not be 100% convinced until something is actually, announced by Nvidia. But to repeat myself, this source has been pretty accurate in the past with a lot of stuff. It's possible Nvidia won't choose to do this because competition is not super high. However, it's also fair to say that, sales of the RTX 40 cards, they've been kind of all over the place depending upon the SKU. And in some regions, they've been doing better than others. However, we can agree that some cards, for example the 4090, is really expensive, but in terms of overall specs you could say, yeah, okay, maybe a few more SM would have been nice, but generally speaking it's been a pretty good GPU. It's a pretty damn impressive product. However, you guys let me know what you think is the suckiest of the 40 series SKUs, but there are a couple to choose from. So obviously speaking, those are pretty good candidates to receive a refresh. So I'm going to be very interested to see what Nvidia's stance is, because one update I'll tell you guys actually is that I've been saying for a while that Blackwell is allegedly first to second quarter 2025, but now I'm hearing that this actually may be incorrect. I'm hearing that Blackwell may be later on in the year, and it could be between Q2 and Q3. Trying to find out more to find out whether that's correct or not. Again, this is really new information. David Wang, or Mega Size GPU if you prefer, has a pretty good track record on Twitter. However, this information doesn't come from him. This is from someone else, the specifications and stuff that I just gone through. But again, you know, my source is essentially backing up the fact that a super refresh is incoming. And that's been one of those things where there's been a lot of rumors that there's a refresh incoming, then it seemed to be cancelled. I was hearing that the refresh was quite likely when RDNA 3, you know, when it wasn't launched, basically, prior to the launch of RDNA 3. But now it might be incoming just as a way to kind of reinvigorate the lineup, because there's such a long period between Lovelace and Blackwell. Now, obviously, Blackwell seems to be launching for the data center first. That's the rumor anyway, that the data center parts will launch first, late-ish. I can't remember the exact date, so don't crucify me on this, but I think it was like Q3 or Q4 2024. I honestly don't remember that, so I might be out, but it was something around there for the data center parts. So obviously, you know, potentially we're looking at a long-ass time between this and, you know, its replacement. And I will also add that a Q2 to Q3 launch for Blackwell may be more logical, because RDNA 4 isn't going to be performant enough to beat Lovelace. We know that. We've talked about those specifications. I leaked the benchmark, sorry, not the benchmarks, but the performance targets several times at this point for RDNA 4. So that leaves RDNA 5. And the thing was, you know, a big concern, and I mentioned it in a previous video, it's like, well, if the date for Blackwell was something like Q1, and the launch window I was hearing for RDNA 5 was like end-ish of that year, doesn't that mean that that AMD basically have a lot more time, and Nvidia can't really... They may have to do a refresh. Like, what would they do? How do they spec the cards to beat in AMD? Whereas on the other hand, if they waited until Q3, there's a much greater likelihood that AMD would have locked in, reasonably speaking, the performance of RDNA 5. So whatever the highest end SKUs will be, let's just call it, I don't know, the 9950 XT or whatever. I'm making that up. I don't know what the cards are going to be called. So that would probably be more logical to me. I'm going to be very interested to see how the cards actually shape up in terms of the next generation. Like this generation, you know, it's been a reasonable generation of cards. Like, again, there are some standouts, the 1490, for example. But the mid-range has been a little lackluster. AMD have kind of come back with a few products. So again, I'll just be very interested to see what happens. It's just a quick video, guys. I wasn't going to record anything today, but as I said, I got this information quite late today. So I'm just, you know, kind of cobbling this video together, so to speak. But anyway, you know, you guys know the drill. It's YouTube. If you've enjoyed the video, leave a like and all that stuff, and I'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.